The term last day occurs 7 times. I love it. 7 times in the book of John. We know the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John is Jesus is presented as the Son of God, or Luke presents him as the Son of Man, I think, and John presents him as the Son of God. He's both of those things. So let's look at these terms. Last day, they occur 7 times in the book of John. And again, we're looking at the timing. Not disputing the rapture, not disputing the resurrection. We're questioning the timing of it. This is the will of the Father who sent me, that all, there's a totality word I call it, all He has given me I should lose nothing, but raise it up at the last day. So let me ask you this. Have you been given to Jesus by the Father? If you have, He'll raise you up. But when will He raise you up? The last day, and not a minute before. Whenever this last day is, that's when you'll be raised. Another question, how about righteous Abel? Let's go as far back in the Bible as we can, and let's look at Abel. Boy, Abel, 6,000 years ago or so, something like that. Has the Father given Jesus Abel, righteous Abel? Certainly He has. If He hasn't, Abel won't be raised. All that the Father has given Christ, He'll raise Him up at the last day. The last day. There's a last day in which that resurrection will happen. Let's read another one. This is the will of Him who sent me, that every one, another totality word, who sees the Son and believes in Him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up. When? At the last day. Everyone. Does that just mean you and me? Or does that mean everyone? Even Old Testament saints. Even righteous Abel. Did righteous Abel see the Son and believe? He believed God, didn't he? Abraham believed God, and it was accounted to him as righteousness. They saw the Son. They didn't see Him as clearly as we see Him, because He's been revealed to us in a greater way. But they believed God. And the knowledge that they were given from God, they believed in that. They saw the Son, and they believed in their lifetime. They kept believing so that they may have everlasting life. They will, we will, everyone who has ever submitted their life to God in whatever time they lived in will be raised up at the last day. We keep trying to make this separation between Israel and the church, and we miss what's right in front of us. To God, there's no difference between Greek and Jew. Yes, He used that nation of Israel for a certain purpose. Yes, there were righteous men in Israel. Yes, there were righteous Gentiles who served the Lord, even during the time of Israel. Are there Jews today, according to the flesh, who are part of the church and believe in Jesus Christ? Certainly. No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him, and I will raise him up at the last day. Again, another confirmation. When that raising is, it's the last day. What is the last day? I think you probably know. Well, let's keep going. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. Of course, that eating flesh and drinking blood is a spiritual thing. Jesus said, I'm talking to you about spirit, not flesh. Flesh profits nothing. We feed on His flesh and blood spiritually, which means we feed spiritually on everything that His life provided and His death on the cross, right? That provision He made for us. Last day. Here's another one. Martha knew what the resurrection was. Sometimes I think they knew some things that we don't know today. We always think that the early church, well, they didn't know. We know a lot more than they do. I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe we've lost some things. Martha said to Him, I know that Lazarus will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. So she knew what the resurrection was. She knew what it was, the resurrection. She knew what the last day was. This one is prophetic. On the last day, that great day of the feast, that sounds like something that's future, doesn't it? The wedding supper of the Lamb and the great day of the Lord. So this is prophetic. Yeah, there was a day and a great day of a feast on that particular day, but there's coming one, and this is prophetic of that one, the great day of the feast. All right, so there's a last day there. If there's a last day, then there are other days in the series, and the last one is which we shall be raised. Right? Just like the trumpets. If there's a last trumpet, there are other trumpets in the series. And how can it not be the 7 trumpets of Revelation? But anyway, so there's got to be other days, and here they are. We've already looked at them in an earlier slide. The millennial week. These are the first 6 days of the millennial week. Adam on Sunday. The flood, Monday afternoon. Tuesday and Wednesday, Israel. Thursday and Friday, the church. Those are the 6 days. We're in the 6th day right now, the 6,000th year, that period. Then we have a last day, Saturday, the day of the Lord, the resurrection. Could it be this easy that it's all talking about the same thing? The 1,000 years, the regeneration, the resurrection, the last day. I think it is. Last day of the Lord. There's the confines of the last day. You know, there'll be a first fruits that are raised here at the beginning of it. Then there'll be people that live during the millennium that also receive their resurrected bodies in some way, in some fashion, at some point. I don't know. But they'll receive resurrected bodies as well. But we'll be the first fruits, the beginning of it, along with all the others who have lived in history from Adam onward who were righteous. Okay, they'll get their bodies too. Here's one more. You probably say, well, there's 6, Sean. Where's the 7th one? I saved the 7th one for last because it's one of those that's a little bit mysterious, but when you understand it, it gives you great insight to what the last day is and when it begins. That's what we're after here. When. Order of events. And before I get to that one, let me ask you, when does Christ sit on the throne and judge? And people are judged by the Word. When does that happen? Is that before the week? Does he sit and judge everyone before the week and then you have the Great Tribulation? Or does he judge after the week? When it's all over, then he'll sit and judge and separate the goats from the lambs and all that. When does he do that? Here it is. He who rejects me and does not receive my words has that which judges him. The word that I have spoken will judge him in the last day. When is judgment? Before the week even begins? Is that judgment? Or is the judgment after the week? Judgment day. In fact, we call it Judgment Day. The word I have spoken will judge him in the last day. That's when he judges. After the week is over. After. The last day. I will raise him up at the last day. Alright, so I think this is pretty good evidence of when the resurrection is and what it is. And it makes perfect sense. And it's, again, bitter and sweet. It's kind of sweet because, wow, this all makes sense now. I understand what the last day is. I understand what we're saved from. I understand what the last trumpet is, what the day of the Lord is, what the 6th seal is, and when it is opened. But then it's bitter because, you know, it's not emotionally what we prefer. So there's some bitterness in our tummy, right, when we digest it. This last slide will be maybe the most important one because we put everything together in a short amount of time and really bring it home. So please continue watching the next video.